Welcome back, guys. Today we're talking about 10 things we changed about our van.
We've been in the van for about 5 months now, and we've been lucky. We've been super happy with our layout, but there's just a few little tiny details that we'd like to change.
Yeah, nothing major. Like, we've been really happy with everything that we have in here, the way we set it all up. There's just like little things that you think about when you're actually living in here, things that would make it more convenient. With that said, I don't think that there's anything that we would actually change about our van right now. Just little things that we're thinking about for possibly another van built in the future. Should we get into it? First thing that comes to mind is our access to the storage under the bench. So right now, I'll show you that we just have top open to like the benches, and we have gas struts on them, and we access everything under here by taking all the cushions off. And that's the one thing that's like super minor inconvenience, but we're thinking if we do a bench setup again, we would actually like to have pull-out drawers from the side. So instead of having to take the cushions off every time that we want to get under the bench, we could instead just have like a big pull-out drawer to pull into the little aisle to access stuff. It would be a lot easier than having to top open this bench.
The next thing we would change about our setup is having just a control center for everything. We kind of pieced things together as we got everything. So this is our solar setup. So we have to open up this cabinet to get to see the solar. For our inverter, we have to open up the benches to turn on the inverter every time. We have to open up to get underneath the sink to turn on the water pump. So it'd just be nice and more convenient just to have everything in one place, like one control center, rather than just being everywhere, all over the place, you know?
Another change we would like to make is our water filtration system. So right now we have a water ionizer, which requires us to have this faucet right here. And so basically what the ionizer does is there's a plate that splits into 2 channels, so you can get your alkaline water through this, but then it also spits out your acidic water through this. So the problem that we're having with this is that it wastes a lot of water. We always try to catch this water coming out of the second spout, but then you're trying to do your dishes like pouring water from like another jug over stuff, and it would be, I feel like, a lot easier to only have one spout and do a totally different filtration system. The other thing I'd love to have is like a faucet with a little shower head, like a detachable shower head, so that we could rinse off the whole sink, and this just kind of spews out one thing of water, which
like laminar flow water.
It like splashes everywhere. So this is actually something that we might be changing in this van fairly soon. So the ionizer itself, there's nothing wrong with, but I think it would be a lot better in a home setting, and it's not really so much ideal for in a van. Something
else we would change, we love our countertops, they look great, but they're not solid butcher block. We bought them from IKEA, and so it's about 1/8 of an inch of solid walnut, but the rest is particle board underneath here. So it made it really difficult getting an undermount sink going right here. So when we cut it all out, we saw that there was a bunch of particle board right here, and that's not great for a sink. If water gets into that particle board, it'll expand and pretty much ruin the whole countertop. So we had to seal all this up really good so that we could actually use it. So next time we would love to have a solid butcher block.
I love to cook a lot, and we have a 2-burner gas stovetop. I love this stovetop, it's really great. The one thing I've been missing a little bit recently is an oven. So it's not something that we're going to change in this van because it's not that big of a deal where we would consider totally doing our layout again for it. But if we build another van, I think we would like to do a small oven, maybe even one that has a little top open to like the propane burners that has like maybe 3 propane burners. Just because there's like certain meals I'd like to make, like I'd like to be able to throw potatoes in the oven or bake things. And while we're in Arizona, we have access to like our family's houses, so we can use their oven sometimes. But when we're on the road, I'm thinking next time around it'd be really nice to have an oven.
One thing we're still gonna change or add into the future is a diesel heater, like an S-bar. That wasn't really a priority when we were building the van because we built it in the dead of summer in Phoenix, so that wasn't really a priority for us. But something in the future, or maybe in the next build, we want to do right off the bat is installing a heater.
So we absolutely love having a big table in here. However, the Lagoon table mount is not really meant to hold a table this size. So unfortunately, if you lean on it or you have multiple people eating off of it, it does kind of wobble. It's kind of nice to be able to eat off of like a really sturdy table and not one that like feels like it's flimsy. This is just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. Totally does the job, and for the two of us, it's perfectly fine. But possibly in the future, what we would do is have a thicker, sturdier table and shorten it a bit, and then have a bigger additional piece that finishes off the bed.
For privacy right now, we just have this curtain, which does great, does the job, but in the future, or the next van, we would like to have a full like partition wall to like actually block the whole thing off. Just for privacy reasons, and for when we're stealth camping, when you look inside the van and you see a curtain, it's kind of a dead giveaway. So like a full solid wall would be just nicer for privacy, insulation, security, stuff like that.
One of the things that we went back and forth about a lot when we were first deciding our layout for this build was whether or not we were going to do a shower inside. We ultimately decided not to. As of right now, we're kind of happy with that decision because this van in particular we built to be as open as possible and hosting friendly as possible, which a shower can make it a little bit harder to do that. So we're thinking that possibly if we build another van, it's something that we would consider, only because of those situations when you're out camping on BLM land for a week or more and everybody starts stinking. It would be really nice to have a shower for that reason. But right now we're just showering at the gym, which also makes us go to the gym and work out. So it's not really a bad deal, just something that we would consider having in the future.
One of the things we sacrificed when building this super open, livable layout is gear storage, just in general. One of the things we want to get into when we start traveling more on the coast is surfing, and we didn't really build the layout just for storing surfboards inside the van. We have a rack that we can strap boards to, but it's also open to the sun and being stolen. So maybe in the future, maybe having a door on the back of the benches to slide surfboards in. Some sort of way just to store the surfboards inside the van and secure them would be great.
All right guys, so that's pretty much everything that we could think of. The good thing is that when we were thinking of things that we'd like to change, when we were planning to film this video, we actually had a really hard time coming up with things that we would change. So I think that's a good sign that we're happy with our layout. It works really well for us. And really all those little things we mentioned are more so things that we would change in a future van rather than something that we're going to change in this van, with the exception of 1 or 2 things.
Just make it a little more convenient, a little more easy to live, you know?
Yeah. The other thing I would say is that if you're planning on building out your first van, it's great to hear these things to get ideas for your own, but at the same time, don't be afraid to just dive in and do it. Don't get so caught up in building the perfect van the first time around, because the thing is, once you're actually living in it, you're gonna find all those little things that you will think about for the next van, if you're gonna build another van or not. But don't worry so much about perfection the first time around. Ours certainly isn't perfect. I'm not sure that anybody's is. There's always little things to tweak. So just build it how you're gonna love it.
But it's not perfect.
Yeah, but we're happy with it.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you like this one. I'll see you next time.
See you later.